Hello there, this is Richie from the Metal Cell Podcast. I'm delighted to welcome Corr Mona to the show. I've got Paul, Stephen and Cork. How are we, lads?
How are we doing? How are you?
All right.
And I've got Robert and Martin in Canada.
How are we doing? How's it going, lads?
Good to have you on, lads. First of all, we go to the Canadians. What part of Canada are you over in?
Canada, we're way up the north of Canada. We're in the Yukon. Whitehorse in Yukon. Yeah.
Fucking hell. And when did you move up there?
I've been here about 6 years now. And
Right.
Robert came up there last month.
Only a month ago.
Yeah, so I was in Toronto for 2 years, but
Okay.
COVID fucked the city really, really hard. So myself and the missus decided to get out and move up here for a month and see what's going to happen. Chill out for a while in minus 29 degree freezing.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Cold.
What kind of day is it here, lads? And they're just stunning, isn't it?
That's gorgeous, yeah.
Yeah, really good.
Paul, I think you've a bit of sunburn actually on the head there a bit.
That's Stephen, is it?
It's me, probably.
I'm only
Oh,
messing.
yeah. I pick it up pretty quickly, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so lads, the reason why you're on the show is you've released a new album called Abhainn. Is that pronounced right?
Yeah,
Abhainn?
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're here to talk about that. But for those that haven't heard of you before, there may be a few, maybe could you just kind of briefly talk us through the history of the band and how it was formed? I'm not sure, is there other two sets of brothers in a metal band? You could be a unique situation, I'm not sure.
Got something going for us at least.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard of another two pairs of brothers in a band, but
No, I don't think so either.
in Natham I had three brothers and two sisters.
Three brothers and
two brothers and two
sisters.
sisters.
Oh, the Kellys,
Kelly
yeah,
family, I
that
think,
fucking metal band from Norway, was it, or something?
Right, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But so the history, should I do it?
Yeah, go on. The eldest speaks.
Obviously we know each other for a while, and we'd be jamming away. And like sometime in the noughties, we said, "Fuck it, we should go have a crack at having a band," because like there's no reason why not. Like because we just happen to have like a full band between us.
Where were you all from, lads?
Well, we're from Bandon, and the lads are from Temple Martin, just north of Bandon there.
Ah, okay. Grand.
So we would have all gone to school in Bandon.
Okay,
We're different ages, like, but we got to know each other because we're into metal and stuff, you know, over the years.
nice one.
We'd be around the place, like away in college or abroad, or like I was working up country as an archaeologist and stuff, so it just couldn't really get a band together for years. Like we said, 2008 or something, we started trying to get one together, doing kind of covers, and then we said we'd go whole hog and come up with the idea of Corr Mona. And 2009 is when we got some songs together and for Cucuinux, the first EP, and it went on from there then basically.
Mm.
And we started doing our first gigs around Ireland and motoring from there.
And are you all self-taught?
Music?
Yeah, I suppose I probably met Quinn there from like, he'd be showing me riffs and stuff. He'd have a few things figured out that I didn't get my head around yet. So I kind of got lessons from him. There's another couple of lads in town to be showing us guitar tricks and stuff as well. But for the most part, we're all self-taught, yeah.
I did piano lessons when I was younger. I did them till I was about 18 actually, but I haven't touched it since. Like, and I started learning bass with the lads when I was interested in guitar. So that was all self-taught in a way. Like, there's no sheet music there or anything.
You picked up bass to play Corr Mona, basically.
Yeah. For the first
nice.
gig I was learning how to play. Like.
And Rob, what about you? Were you always into drums?
I'm self-taught as well, I suppose. I was forced to buy a drum kit by an older brother of mine. Because he wanted someone to play riffs with. So yeah, I got my first kit when I was about 14 or 15, I suppose, and just had it set up in the shed and was just banging away, listening to Borzum albums and trying to replicate the stuff he was playing on there, which was pretty simple at the start. So yeah, it's kind of how I taught and learned, I suppose, by just listening to stuff and trying to replicate it at home.
Okay, and I presume you were originally, as you said, doing cover bands. What was the push to go traditional Irish language?
When
So we all have like interest in the language, like, and it's I don't think we've any other example of a band who sang totally Oscuelga.
Yeah.
That would have a crack off it. Steve studied in Gaelic school when he was younger, and Paul's big interest in the language too. He did a master's in Irish language, into ancient Irish. Myself and Robert also like huge interest in language growing up and stuff. So it felt natural to kind of just do that and have a little bit of uniqueness to us straight away if we could write in Irish, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic. And over the years now, have you delved into it further? Are you nearly full-time Irish speakers? If you could hold a conversation, no bother, I presume?
Some would be better than others, I'd say.
Okay.
Get caught up in the grammar and stuff. Definitely from writing lyrics and stuff, the vocabulary is still there for me, at least. Conversation-wise now, it's hard to find a lot of people in Whitehorse to speak Irish with. We're going to crack from home. Paul and Steve now probably better conversationists than the two of us, I'd say. But
And have you gone to the Gaeltacht, lads, over the years, when you were from teens onwards, no? Or had you any interest?
Like Steve went to the Gael school. Like I only started really getting into Irish in my 20s because we used to have terrible teachers, so I didn't have any love for it back then.
Oh, that's a great point. That's a great point. I had a teacher who used to kick the shit out of most of us in Irish.
That's really going to get you into it.
Honestly, he turned me off Irish, man. It was fucking brutal. That's now Christian Brothers. So we had Christian Brothers from 1984 up to 88. And like a lot of the teachers who weren't Christian Brothers were alcoholics. And the rest of the Christian Brothers, you have to be fucking very careful on. You didn't want to be left alone with them, if you know what I mean.
Oh my God.
Very, very similar for us in secondary school as well. Like I'm sure we've all got a list in our pocket of fuckers we'd like to run to in the bar, but thankfully they're popping off one by one slowly now. So
I know, yeah, it's fucking true. There's not many of them left. But yeah, that was my whole thing with the Irish, which was a shame because we just had an absolute bastard
most
for
Irish
the
people
teacher.
have that experience, right? That you hit secondary school and it becomes very grammar driven and it's kind of more the function of the language as opposed to speaking it properly. So it just turns everyone off. Like you ask anyone in Ireland, do they like to speak Irish? And they probably not. Maybe when you're in primary school and you're learning the fun stuff and you can have a little conversation. But
True, yeah, that's a good point.
when you're having to learn like higher level poems and like conditional verbs and shit like this, no one fucking likes it anymore.
Trying to read Peg Sayers, which in itself is incredibly boring. Like,
Yeah, that was it. We had Peg Sayers as well. Fucking hell. Yeah. Jesus.
stuff and that shit. Well, like, it was kind of taught, it was conversational Irish the whole time. The only thing that was the time we speak English is during the English class, like, and that's just in Irish as well, like, so, and it was encouraged in, the playground and that kind of stuff. So that's the only way to do it, like, to make it just second nature.
I would say it's improved massively now as well, for young people. It's not like our experience.
No, I'm just amazed there that Steve said that G'd Peg Sayers. Like, when did you do?
Younger than that, I suppose.
So that fucking Peg Sayers was there for the whole time of my duration learning and onto yours as well, Steve.
Yeah, so they obviously didn't change things up much, like, but I guess it's a good example of, like, historic example of stuff happening near Dingle, like, but it's painful to read and there's not much more to say about it, like. Watching all her sons die and people falling off cliffs and stuff is not entertaining. Like, that's when you need to learn how to say either in Irish. So
some great turns of phrase for doom metal in there, though. So
yeah. And how difficult was it to stay away from, we'll say, Irish mythology? Do you know there some bands kind of use it, folk bands and Celtic bands use it. I feel sometimes it's kind of almost a gimmick.
Approach, yeah, a bit.
Yeah, I'd say we do kind of use it, but we use it in a more subtle way. Like, I mean, any mythology from any country is kind of like a universal thing, so it's no different with Irish mythology. There's definitely references in there to all sorts of stuff, but we'll use it in a different way rather than like make it very obvious, like, Cuchulainn, his big spear ran out, we're not kind of singing that, like,
Yeah.
But you might hear about him like being a raven on the shoulder of the world or something for environmental problems or something like that, like, But we do use it, but in kind of, subtlety, I suppose, is the way, right?
Yeah. And again, like, we could all name kind of Irish Celtic bands and folk bands. Would you actively go out of your way to avoid being on a bill with something like that?
No, sure. We played. We had a great tour there at Mail Murder back in the day.
Yeah.
So,
okay. That's a good example.
We go with the lads, like, and they like our stuff too. And we played with
Celtic Corr as well, like, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, not at all. Everyone's each in their own, and all them kind of support each other,
Yeah.
It's not like there's that many gigs that we can turn it down either.
Yeah, and it's part of your DNA now. So I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, and like, you have a nice mixture of black, death, doom, sludge all going through the music as well. There's a lot of ingredients in Corr Mona's mixture. What's the prevailing thought going into kind of one song? Is it more important about the riffs, or is it like how it's like a mixing brew, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose it's all dependent, really. I mean, we're kind of fortunate everyone chips in when we're writing. Like, there's 4 different brains working away there.
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, we all have stuff we prefer, but we all come from a common background of metal music and music in general. So if something sounds good, we'll try and chuck it together with someone else's riff, or maybe someone's thought out something a little bit more and they come with something that's half finished and someone will add to it. Or sometimes someone might have a whole finished song and we just all kind of arrange together, but it all kind of comes together naturally, really. I mean, that's the benefit of knowing each other so well, and just, I know Quinn will have a riff here for this, or Steve will have something there, or I know Robert will jazz up this boring riff and put something interesting beat-wise behind it. We can use it, you know. But
in the writing of Abhainn, how did you approach it compared to your debut album, Door? Like,
it sounds very similar again. We're still kind of just all putting the heads together on it. Like, I don't know if it was those songs have been written probably since just after Door as well. So, probably as old as Door stuff. It's been hanging around for a while, waiting to come to fruition. But I don't know if we did anything majorly different, lads. What do you think?
The major thing was production this time. We got the production we wanted. The production was great the last time, but we didn't have it. We lacked a bit of power.
Okay.
So we're very happy to get like a nice heavy production, a really heavy guitar tone and really heavy drum sound this time around, you know.
And how that was with Track Mix, was it, Michael?
Yeah, with Michael above. Yeah, did a great job.
Did you admire stuff that he did with other bands that
we had heard of them? Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, I think he's known there now for getting good heavy metal tones, like, you know, and good drum sounds. Like, he's worked with Mail Murder stuff, I believe, before, and is the Grand Lever and stuff after that. So they've got a really good sound with him. Lots of bands, really. Anything that comes out of there sounds.
Graveyard Dirt as well. We heard Graveyard Dirt stuff, really good.
Yeah, fair play. Like, how did the songwriting process work? You said they were old songs. How long were they around, lads? Were they around for 3 to 4 years, or?
I think we actually we knitted the songs together up in Dublin Hill here, actually, in Richie's place. We used to have a room.
Oh, yeah.
15, is it?
Yeah, it was.
I think it was the summer of 15 when we all came together with like different stuff and just were jamming it, like, and the bones that came together then. But then it was a few years over after that, there were like the vocal ideas and everything would come down on top of it. And then eventually you've got to like stick it together into a narrative of the album. And that probably that's about 3 years ago, I suppose. That's really coming together. It's a long process, like.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. And again, how did that work with you, Martin? Were you over in Canada at that stage?
I think what Quinn's talking about there, when we were in Dublin Hill, I was home that summer, so that's when we did a lot of the jamming on it. Maybe like we spent 2 months up in the band room, and then like I come home every so often. Like, so I was home again for recording when we laid the drums down. Then we take it away and we came back again to guitars and stuff and vocals at the very end. Like, so that kind of slowed us down too. People being abroad and stuff. I think everyone's had a good stint of traveling in between the start of that and the finish of that. So. Yeah, it definitely slows things down, but with internet and stuff nowadays, you can get an awful lot done once the drums have gone down, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Did you have, Paul and Steve, did you have guys jump in for Martin when he wasn't around?
Yeah, the whole way along we had, near the beginning, it was Ronan Hayes.
Okay, Ronan Hayes, yeah.
Like, it was Belness, and he was playing guitar for Rowan as well. So he was around at the beginning for a couple of years, maybe. And then I went away for a brief stint in a camper van and around Europe, and Dave Lauren learned everything. And then by the time I came back, he hadn't just had learned, and that was it. Not that he used to come away to learn it, there was no gigs. Like,
just Dave Lauren loves the deck.
Yeah.
So
Mark
from Sutzer, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Loves to play in the Session Spectres with him. He's been filling in recently. But there's been no gigs, obviously. There actually hasn't been gigs for a while. We had a bit of a break before COVID, and then COVID came along, so there's been no gigs at all, obviously, for a couple of years.
Yeah. We had I just remember there, we had Fatty from Suits there as well, while he was still around, just for 1 or 2 gigs up in Galway.
Up in Galway, he played for us. So,
yeah. And we were practicing recently just before COVID. Steve O'Connell and Fruin, he was, we had him yeah, that's when Robert headed off to Toronto.
We played a couple of big gigs as a 3-piece as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
Up in Galway once, and up in Dublin there one stage. So there are ways and means of doing it, like, you know, to fill up the gaps, like so.
So the new album, there's a concept behind it. Do any of you want to talk about it? How we came up with the idea?
Who wants to talk about it?
That's a big one.
Nobody.
I can't remember how we started with the river concept specifically, but like we had with Door, so we had like, you know, a nature theme already instigated, and trees and nature essentially. And I think we were thinking it would be a good idea to have some other going on there.
I found this in a second hand store.
Yeah.
I think that actually helps a lot, the River Gods. So
I got that from Corr.
we had something before about oak trees and stuff for the first one, but we're thinking like a different element for this one, I suppose. But the interesting thing about rivers in Ireland is they're mostly named after females, but a local one in Macroom, where Robert would have gone to school, is named after a male. So that kind of got us stuck into this kind of tract. At one point it was all about him, but then it kind of went into different rivers around the country. So it kind of kept growing as we started it. And then the idea to start the album with like water trickle sounds and have it finish as it goes into the estuary and have it track the actual progress of a river kind of came as we kept playing with the idea, I suppose.
Yeah, I remember, what's his name, Michael? Up in track next said suggesting Zoom H1 for recording, which I think people use at gigs and stuff, but just to record like water sounds or any nature sounds. So I got it straight after we recorded, and a couple of clips are there's one from Scotland when I was camping there, and a lot of stuff from Gugambara, like so.
So there's lots of natural sounds throughout, like the whole thing continues in a full narrative. But you've heard yourself like listening to it, like so.
Yeah,
we have sounds flex from Gugambara, as you said, like in Abhainn River, and just
a cave there where Robert was living for a year and things like that.
we listened to one of them. It's the opening track, actually. It's on Fjord. Is that pronounced right?
On like the Nore River.
All right, okay. Yeah. And this will give people an idea of whoever went to the trouble of recording this. That's the cave, is it, I presume?
Yeah, that's where Mom was living. Home sweet home, yeah.
That's a stunning piece of work, lads. There's so much going on with that. It's fucking incredible. There's Celtic horns.
Yeah, we used some samples from like a Dardishal. It's the old Irish bronze longhorn. Oh. There's some other Celtics. I think they're called Carnix horns and stuff. So yeah, it was a bit of a chore digging out the samples for them and trying to tune them to the right place because we don't actually have the instrument, obviously. But yeah, had a nice bit of atmosphere, I suppose.
It's unreal. Yeah, it's just really kind of, it's really ancient times, you know. And as I said, the cave and the just amazing. Like how much were you influenced by the Sean-nós singing as well?
We not particularly. Like we just kind of just sing in our own voices as cleanly and purely as possible. I think. Yeah. We try to use all the skills we have, you know. So like Martin does vocals too, and the lads, Steve and Martin would like trade heavy stuff, and Steve's trade the singing stuff.
Yeah.
We just we're not. Yeah, we wouldn't really have a history of doing Sean-nós singing.
It doesn't have the tropes of that, like the nasalization and the ornamentation. We have
a bit of ornamentation, in fairness. Like,
was the vocals much of a challenge laying them down for the album itself?
Oh, we love it. Yeah. It's really cool getting into the studio and getting really high quality vocals, especially heavy stuff here, not coming out in there is amazing, you know.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it. Yeah. So it's always all good fun up with Michael, like all the recording. Definitely.
Well, that's important too, yeah, very much so. I mean, the vocals, they play a vital role in influence the mood as well of the song, not necessarily the instruments, you know. I found that right through the album. It's really incredible. It's like, as I said, another instrument, the way you do the vocal styles. Had you any kind of guidance in relation to vocal styles, or again, was it something you developed yourselves?
We've been going for 11 years now, like, so we've always tried to do new things all the time, like choral stuff and doing different harmonies and new ideas. So it's mostly us just riffing away and trying to come up with new stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Like,
we're obviously influenced, by loads of bands and stuff. But
well, I was just going to say, like, for me, anyway, for the like heavy vocals, starting off, I was liking your man's stuff from Enslaved, but then over time it just became, you just got kind of got into the shape of your own voice and seeing what suits the best. Like, so, but this recording definitely has the best combination of clean singing and heavy vocals. Yeah. So everything's kind of fully realized at this stage. That was probably the best singing we've done, basically.
Yeah, definitely.
And growls and screams and stuff.
Yeah. And you got Mairead McGuinness to do the amazing artwork again. Was that an easy decision?
Yeah.
Easy once Mairead got on board. She's pretty talented, like, so. Yeah. Once she agreed to it, it was easy enough.
I mean, she's the obvious choice because her stuff it's beautiful. It has a real darkness to it. So, and we knew Mairead before anyway. So
yeah, she was kind of an early follower on Facebook. So
okay.
We meet her at the Siege of Limerick. I was made friends with her husband, like, so. And also, even before we approached her, she had, like, you know, heron skulls and stuff in the artwork, like, so it seemed like an obvious choice even from that fact, like.
Yeah, and you used
a lot of subtlety in there as well, so it kind of suits what we're doing, because you see a picture that looks kind of beautiful, but on the ground there's like a rib cage or something.
Yes, so there's bones or something.
A second look to see it, so it kind of fits the mood perfectly, you know.
Yeah.
And the whole text as well, did she come up with the text for the album? You know, just even the way the lyrics are printed, it is beautiful. The whole package is just a work of art, really.
Mairead did like a series of pieces. She was inspired by the different songs, and we incorporated them to the art. So it was Martin doing most of that. Okay.
So that's what I'm on about as well. Just the way the lyrics are wrote. It's it's like Celtic style of writing as well. How hard was that?
Yeah, we kind of wanted to have the English lyrics explained after putting. Oh shit!
No, can you say that again, Mark? You were just breaking.
Can you hear us there?
Yeah, you're good. Go on again.
Sorry, yeah. We always kind of wanted to have the translation of the lyrics there too, just so people can actually read what we're talking about, even though we sing it all last Gaeilge.
Yeah.
But it is an obvious choice to write the song title out in Ohm and put it on either side just to separate it from like a graphic design point of view. But Yeah, just trying to lay it out nice and simple. I mean, we all enjoy the albums when we were younger, like poring over the inlay cards and stuff.
Fact, yeah.
The more information there, the more you sit with the album and actually read through as you're going along, you know. So we just kind of wanted to get that feel as well.
Yeah, you want to put an effort into every aspect of anything you're producing, like. So, you know, as in looking at the detail from down to the type of font, like we use was it Cloak Gaelic?
Cloak Gaelic, yeah.
That's what I was wondering what it was. What's it called? What font is it?
It's Cloak Gaelic, which means Gaelic font, like.
Right.
It's the way people used to write, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. No, I did graphic design myself, so I was just intrigued there, the way it was put together. Like having all the tracks done and dusted now, is there any particular tracks? I'll ask you all individually, what are your favourite tracks of the album? You probably have different ones, I hope.
The ones each of us wrote.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's one.
Come on, Rob, you're being very quiet there.
I know I'm very quiet here. Yeah, I'm quite one of the band. I think for me,
the drummers are mad. We know that. There's no fooling me.
Yeah, I think for me it's probably Salon. So that was the river that Martin was talking about with the male aspect attached to it. So
male aspect,
yeah.
Jesus.
So the it's a male river that is quite angry with people all the time, and it takes lives quite regularly. And that's the river that runs through Macroom. So I would walk across it every day when I was going to school. And going back to the river gods there, you'd see the effigy on the side of the bridge there as well, which is pretty cool. You spot them in different bridges around Ireland. You'd have the river gods attached to it. So in the River Lee there, you've got one just by the River Lee Hotel. There's one there just by the bridge.
The bank's there in Cork City.
Yeah. There's a few around the place. So that definitely, I remember seeing that when I was younger, and then having to attach it to a song later on and kind of bring it to life musically was great for me. And so that's probably my pick there, boys. Excellent stuff.
Mart?
I don't know, for me it's changing all the time. I mean, living and listening to these songs for so long, like it'll depend on the mood. I suppose one I'm particularly happy with would be Lee. It's like it's faster.
Hearing ones.
That's the stuff we've done before. So I think the riffs we threw together from different lads there came together nicely, and the vocals kind of sat really nice on as well. So I was very happy with that one.
Okay, Steve.
Yeah, you're going to pick last. Every other one, no. I think the one I actually was going to say this earlier because it's a good point to make. But the track we listened to in your, I want that one. A lot of those riffs were mine, and I kind of wanted to do like a Three Sisters thing. So we tried to amalgamate like three different types of song together, but the way the riffs were necessarily didn't work that way initially. But we got to work, and we did in such a way that so like when that song ended, we listened to, you can hear vocals about to kick in. Yes. So I guess in a way like that was one big track that we split in three. Yeah. Called it Trúr de Furca, and then there's like references vocally to Trúr de Furca in it. Like so, that's a good one because it's got, like, as you heard there, like this not very metal sound, but it's very mystical, and then kicks into something that's got a really big build up, and then it's got like the last part's fast riffs and
on Baru. That part is fucking brilliant.
It's one of the ones it's out now as a single. So so I got 3 in one.
Yeah, so, you picked all of them, did you?
I did, yeah.
The whole lot, sneaky bastard.
I'm not going to pick one of my own, so I pick on the Shannon River.
Okay.
Because I could pick any of them, like Martin was saying there. Like, I mean, they're labours of love, you know. It's like your children. It's hard to pick one, but that's an amazing piece, and it's a really long development. I was really happy with the vocal sections in that too, and there's some beautiful leads and melodies going through it.
Yeah.
So that's the one I go for to finish it off.
Fair play. And in relation to the label, did you sign to, what was it called?
It's called Satanath.
Yeah.
Records. Yeah.
How did that come about?
One of the reasons why this record is so late, one of them is COVID, because it was actually ready to go like a year and a half ago, and that's when we sent out the labels. I mean, we just wanted to go on to the next rung in the ladder or whatever, just get a bit of progression. So we were just looking for the support from labels, and they had the best offer that came in, so we went with them. They're a Russian label from St. Petersburg.
Ah, okay. And distribution-wise, then, are you going to go for? At the moment, is it just digital, or will there be CDs and vinyl, the usual?
There'll definitely be CDs anyway. Like we're just working on finalising that now, so they should be ready, a month or a bit maybe. But we're also looking at, the possibility of vinyls, obviously, and like friend Mark really got me onto getting cassettes, like, because for Procession Spectres that just flew out the door for them. So,
yeah.
Like the CD is available in pre-order, like from Setnat at the moment, and their label they're releasing it in conjunction with is a Spanish label called Negranit, Plan E. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. So it is actually available now. That'll be just the jewel case CD.
Okay.
We're going to do like a digifile version of that. Which should be available next month sometime.
Yeah, that'd be nice as well. As I said, I'm old school. Jesus, what I wouldn't give now to have that your album there now on vinyl, especially with all the artwork as well.
Yeah, it'll look good on vinyl, like it's
a sure look. I mean,
I think we're hoping to do a vinyl down the road a little bit, but
of course,
see how that goes.
Yeah, there's always the fucking costs and everything that goes with that as well,
Yeah, we're figuring out t-shirts as well. Actually, I don't think anybody mentioned that. Like, but looking into a couple of different, like, because there's so much artwork we can use from our age.
Yeah,
and the colours Martin put together, like, so kind of spoiled for choice there, but it also makes it more difficult to figure out like what's the best one to start with. So but that's definitely on the cards as well, like.
Yeah, it's a great time, lads, for Cork metal in general, with the grief that you're part of, lads, and Faroon and Soothsayer now, Echoes of the Earth as well. So what are your opinions on the scene?
With the Canadian lads, sounds for that.
Go on, actually. Do you miss Cork, lads?
It's been a long time coming, I suppose. I mean, like, we've been gigging for whatever 10 years or so, and little small venues and venues closing down here and there. So the fact that it's still going strong and that we've got 4 pretty big bands releasing stuff now is amazing. Like, because you think with COVID knocking stuff off, that it would have completely killed the scene. But it's obviously apparent that there's boys still there making music, and maybe COVID helped that as well. That if you're stuck inside your room and all you're going to do is write some riffs and get them put down. Like, but yeah, it's the scene is definitely probably stronger than it has been in the past 15 years or so, I'd say. No, we were together for however long, and the Soothsayer boys being there for so long. It's not just a band that pops up for a couple of years, plays a few gigs in Freds, and then fucks off and disappears.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bit more backbone to the scene now, so hopefully we can flesh it out, and like the younger guys will see what we're doing and what we have been doing, and maybe a few more bands will pop up around it,
Yeah. Steve and Paul, I mean, you're more close at hand with the grief as well, and Faroon, John, shout out to John as well. You all have released now into this COVID fucking vacuum. What are your thoughts on it?
About it being during COVID?
Yeah, releasing into that.
Well, it's not ideal, right? But it's better than going into this. For example, like, we had the drums already done, so we would have been fucked at Robert in Toronto otherwise, for example. We actually had everything done.
Yeah.
And we actually have some more material left over from that session that we can use. That's a good position to be in, because you're ready to release then during the lockdown and all that. And it was the same for all the bands, actually. So we're kind of lucky that way, because there's only so much you can do digitally,
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. Now, it'd be fucking great if we could all play some gigs again, with everybody knowing the songs and everything. Because we've been playing these songs for a while in Corona, like, people not knowing them, That's the next stage, and sure we'll get there. Just looking forward to that and be able to push things like that. But look, it's still good, isn't it? Like, we can still release the stuff, we can still sell it.
Yeah.
And we can still sell merch, and we can still do social media. There's things you can still do,
So who's the social media guru?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
The four of us are equally bad at social media.
If we put us all together, we're okay.
We're as good as one band member from another one.
But we all, it's a hippie commune, we all fit in all the stuff. So, same on social media.
Yeah. I was just saying there, back, like, again with G playing with the grief, What about over with G lads? Are you still gigging with anybody, or is it just are you just staying?
No, not in Canada, really, just playing away, like writing riffs and stuff and just practicing in the bedroom. It's not really, there's no one really to play with up here. There's
Really?
not much of a metal scene. Whitehorse is a small enough town here, like, you know, so.
It's very hard to travel with a drum kit on your back as well. So I hadn't
Dick Van Dyke,
properly in quite a while, you know. It's probably easier for the lads. You can play a guitar in your bedroom and not upset anyone, but setting up a full kit with all your cymbals and double bass pedals, it upsets the neighbours generally, you know.
So it travelled across with you anyway, Rob, did it? The kit?
No, I brought a couple of. I have a bar on that I kind of mess away on. Nothing too major, like. But yeah, I haven't played on a full kit now in a while, so just working on my percussion side of things and working on my vocals. You know.
Yeah.
So the next one will be very experimental.
Very good. And did you buy anything, Mark, over since anything to add to your gear?
I've got my guitars here and stuff, and I'll play and right away. And like with the internet now, it's easy enough. I can swap riffs with Steve and Paul there pretty easily, and we can add ideas to it. And we have a stockpile of riffs ready to go, like, you know. And like Paul was saying there's probably 3 tracks with drums already recorded as well, so there's enough material for an EP straight away if we just put our heads down to it. But we might flesh it into something else as well. We'll see.
Yeah. And the Quins there have collaborated a few times with bands. Anything more coming through for you lads? I know you, Paul, you contributed to the Bogs of Augusta, did you?
We did, yeah, sure. We've known Ronan for years, actually, sure.
Yeah.
We went to gigs back in the day. And yeah, I did, that was the most shameless thing I've done, yeah. Some vocals on that album. I mean, we've done probably enough collaborations, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing else on the cards anyway. I think people have released most things anyway. They just want to be getting out gigging again and pushing it that way. Like.
Yeah.
The only work at the moment is there's a few new possible Grief songs. You know, John constantly working away in the background there, and we've things here like we've been working on, like, so. And we said there's already stuff for Corr Mona, but with other bands, not specifically. I guess the downside of COVID is the fact that we're not meeting up with people, like, let's say, up in the band room. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I mean, we could do it, but you'd have to go and reach out to somebody and say, let's start something. And
Yeah,
with the current acts, everybody's got more stuff coming, and I think Mark from Possession Inspectors has more music as well on the way. Like, but
yeah,
that's great. So when is the album coming out, lads?
It'll be today, if you're releasing this on the 16th.
Yes, the 16th.
So hopefully everybody's already listening to it.
And anything else you want to add to the conversation about the album, apart from fucking buying it, obviously?
Buy everything involved with it, all the t-shirts, all the vinyls, all the cassettes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic effort in every way. I mean, you left nothing behind by the sounds of it, which is like, you know, which is what you probably wanted to hear anyway. There will be a lot of interest with it, I'd say, as well. How is it down to probably the record label and yourselves now to get reviews in, or have you worked on that already, getting reviewers to review it?
What should the name was again? Negra Plan Y or Plan E, Spanish sub-label, I guess. They've already gotten like promos out there for us, and you can see it hit the different websites, and we gave them a review for one, an interview answers for one. So the process has already started, and I'm going to send out a promo to various websites and stuff shortly. So. Yeah, that is.
Yeah, I think the labels are doing their side, and we're doing our side as well, because we have a different set of contacts.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, lads. So that's it. I just wish you all the best with the new album. Abhainn.
Abhainn.
Yeah.
Send you back to the Christian Brothers and might sort you
out. And you've been listening to Paul, Steve, Rob and Martin of Corr Mona. Thanks a million for coming on the show, lads. And again, if there's any more I can do for you promotion-wise, please hit me up. And as well.
Yeah, good man. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having us.
And again, congratulations. So that's it, everybody. Hit subscribe if you like the show. And please God, we will somehow or someday see Corr Mona play Cork in Fred's. That's a lovely thought. We'll get the lads back from Canada as well.
Hopefully.
All right.
It'll happen.
It'll happen. Cheers, lads.